thought it might be helpful if I was to give you an update on the board's current thinking in relation to the restrictions that are in place. I do hope that this finds you safe and well. I want to make absolutely clear that everything that we're doing has the health and well-being of our volunteers at its centre. Currently, the railway is in hibernation, and of course, we have no income. We've had to cancel services to the end of August, and special events are now unfortunately cancelled to the end of the year. We had to do that because a considerable amount of work goes into organising and preparing for special events, and it's simply not practical in the current circumstances to consider us being able to do that this year. I know there's been a slight easing in the restrictions by the government, and that's obviously good news, but that doesn't mean that it's a green light, unfortunately, for us to go back to volunteering immediately. What we are doing is that we've asked heads of department to establish whether or not there's any work of a safety critical nature or that's required for business continuity. If that's identified as being necessary, what we then do is see whether or not it can be done safely and in accordance with the current guidelines and restrictions. If so, it'll go ahead. When restrictions are eased a bit more, and when we can look to return to volunteering, probably the first that we'll do is look at what I might call the outdoor departments, lineside clearance, lineside drainage, permanent way, those sort of departments that work outdoors, because it should be easier to arrange for them to go to work and dealing with government guidelines. Slightly more difficult to deal with are those departments that work in workshops, such as the loco department, diesel department, carriage and wagon, and so on. Obviously, trying to keep social distancing in place in those circumstances and the extra hygiene arrangements that are going to be necessary is going to be more challenging, but we'll certainly look to see how we can deal with that. And thirdly, of course, and the thing that we're all looking forward to, is the potential return to services. Unfortunately, that's a little way away at the moment. It's very difficult to see how we could run services with social distancing in place. We all know that when trains arrive at stations, the natural inclination of all passengers is to move towards the doors. How would we keep them apart, or how would we stop passengers walking through trains? How would our staff, the guards, TTIs, station staff, be able to go about their work with social distancing in place? So that's something we've got to look at in the future, but we do have to bear in mind that that's not straightforward. So I'll let you have any further updates as soon as they are available. I'll obviously keep you in touch as much as we possibly can with our current thinking. Do keep safe in the future. Thank you for your support. Goodbye.